Well, hello, my fellow car modelers. How are you doing today? Welcome back to another episode of the Model Car Enthusiast Podcast. And this is number
12.
Thank you, sir. 12? I thought it was 13. I thought it was lucky 13. See?
I thought we weren't going to do a 13.
Oh, yeah.
I lost track.
So is it 14?
It's 14. We're not doing 13.
Is this episode 14? Okay.
14. Yeah, we're jumping. We're skipping. That's right.
I'm glad when I show up, we can't count.
Yeah, there you go. Welcome, Billy. Welcome to the podcast. And everybody, I'll mention this. You see a well, I'll go that way. A new face, but Billy is actually from the beginning an original co-host, so he is actually technically a regular, but he hasn't been able to make it on. He's finally here. We're on to the 14th episode, and he finally can get on. I'm really happy to have you on, Billy. But technically, if everybody doesn't know this, Billy has been on every episode, no matter what you think, because it's Billy's band, Skyline Red, who does our theme music at the beginning, and at the end, we hear his voice. That's him singing at the end. So, everybody, now we got our music director.
There we go.
Is here, and thank you for coming on, Billy. I'm looking forward to you getting involved with this conversation we're going to have, which is a doozy. We got a doozy for you all. It's a doozy. We've got a couple things to talk about. First of all, kind of discuss like what inspires us when we come up with an idea for a build. What are some of the things that gets us to want to do whatever we build? And it changes all the time, obviously. And also another thing I want to kind of bring into the discussion, we'll talk maybe later on into the show, is there's this constant posting on the Facebooks and of people, and lots of times it's modelers that are kind of either come back to the hobby or really kind of new into the hobby, because we get a lot of guys that are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s that really might have built when they were little kids, maybe not, but they're getting into the hobby now, and they don't kind of understand this repop of round two's kits, and when they do it as MPCs, and they might think they're all separate companies, and there's this thing that's going around of people bagging MPC kits, and I'm never going to buy an MPC kit, and when they see the letters MPC, they might be losing out on some stuff, and it's something to think about. You got to kind of have an open mind to this model building, especially model car building. Boy, do you got to have an open mind. So those are a couple things I want to talk about. And one last thing is today, as we are recording, which quite possibly I might get this out tonight, so it'll be today for some people who listen to this and watch it, today is March the 15th. And Mark, what is March the 15th for us here? It's a model car holiday.
It is reveal day for the Unified Scale Automotive Content Creators Group Build number 5.
Number 5.
Yes, there you go.
Look at that. You got props and everything.
That is awesome. Man, Mark, did we ever think it would get this big and this popular when we?
I certainly didn't. When we started this 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't think we had a clue that it was going to get this out of hand in a way. But hey, that's all great for the hobby. It's great. It's great fun for the individuals, and we've had a blast with it.
It has been fun, and this one has been fun. And guess what, guys? I actually finished mine this year. I haven't put my video out. I still got to record it after we get done here. Irv's got his out.
Calm down. Hold on. Give me a second. All right. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Are you all right?
I'm okay.
I know the shock. It's a blast of the old ticker there.
Have to adjust to it. Yeah.
But I'm gonna.
I've got to get my video up this afternoon. I've got it, everything pretty much finished. I got to edit the very end of it, and then I'll post it. But it'll be up today.
I'm looking forward to yours, man. You did something very cool.
Well, Billy, all three of you are better human beings than I am.
Yes, I was gonna say that. Thank you for coming on to your first episode of the podcast, and you're fired.
Yes, thank you.
but wait till after the podcast, and then I'll probably rehire later on in the week. What the heck,
okay.
you know?
All right.
But yeah, so everybody, well, we kind of like you know, you guys know everybody here now. We talked about, you know, Billy. You've been listening to him since you've been watching this podcast. We've got Irvin from the Arterake. I was drinking my coffee out of your mug today, Irv, and I left it in the kitchen. I was gonna have that, you know, show
Good place
it off
for
a
it.
little bit. Yeah, it is. Well, I'm out of coffee, but yeah. So,
hey Matt, do you have to hold yours at an angle too?
No, I don't think he was drinking when
Irv,
he put mine on.
Irv, you need to attach
A level
to the top of the handle.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You got all your levels, man. You got Mark's mug a little off kilter, huh? Well, you got a collector piece then, Mark. I'm telling you.
If it's not crooked, I didn't do it.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that you ought to add that to your logo, a level.
Well, before we get started on one of the many subjects we're going to talk about, I want to do some honorable mentions of a couple of already reveal videos that are out from two friends of mine, two not quite known, maybe. Well, one might be known, but for something else. YouTubers. The first one, my buddy. Let's see. Show it. There we go. Okay. So we got JB Scale Creations. This is my buddy John Bailey. He lives in York, the UK, and he's very British. You'll hear it. But this guy, he's an astounding model builder. But take a look at that 16. Do you notice some weirdness about that 69 Camaro? This guy does the nuttiest and amazing bodywork. If you guys remember from, I think, the second Mark, your pick for the USAC build, he did the 4-door cop car and like got the lines perfect. It wasn't like he just scribed it.
Yes, he did. He did the LAPD Adam 12.
Yeah. Some
69 or 70, yeah.
But I mean, guys, I highly recommend go check out his video. This build is absolutely preposterous, and I say that with all the love in the world because I absolutely was impressed by it.
It gives me like a Lotus Europa.
Yeah.
Like, just what in the world?
Yeah, but here, take a look. Do you notice something very odd? This is what made my
like
brain
a Chevelle roof.
Yeah, but just look at the side of the car, the character lines, the things that are noticeable about a 69 Camaro. It's backwards.
Yeah, it's reversed.
Okay.
It's backwards.
Yes, it is.
That right there, I went, what's going on? But yeah, you got to check out that. And another one I want to mention, and we all know, and a couple of us are friends, is I got Jim Rogers from Salvino's JR Models. I told him, you have a YouTube channel. You're a content creator. Why don't you join in? Because he's been dabbling. He claims he's not a model car builder. He's just someone who is a model car designer. He always said, I create the canvas for you guys. Yeah, blah, dude, you're a model car builder. And then he goes ahead and if you don't know this about him, is he did a motorcycle. He did a Husqvarna off-road, late 60s off-road motorcycle. It was amazing. Took it to his first show, not only won first place, but won best of show with it. Wow. And I said, dude, you're a car modeler. I know it's a motorcycle, but you're a car modeler. So I got him to get in on this, and now it's official. Jim Rogers is a car modeler, and will this come up? And gone over the Salvino's JR Models. He broke the rules of his channel. There has always been just an unboxing of his kits, and he's now done his own model that's not a Salvino's JR model kit. And he totes that pretty proudly. So go over there, give Jim some love. He's a welcome member of the USAC, and I told him, well, you're a model car builder now. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to corrupt you.
By the way, guys, what you were just looking at looked like a tractor front end. That is a 1969 Camaro.
It is a 69 Camaro.
You need to go watch it because
You
it
need to
is
go.
wild.
Nice.
Isn't it nuts? He was so excited. He had such a ball doing this, and when he said he was going to do it, I got to do something absolutely off the wall. And I said, well, of course, and
You
he's
know
a
what?
designer.
That's what it's all about. Have some
Yeah.
fun. Go crazy.
Yeah, he took advantage of his skill level. I'll tell you that with the model car designing and 3D printing and stuff, because he is an incredible designer. And he makes some amazing stuff, not only their kits, but a lot of really cool 3D print accessories that they sell over on their website, Salvino's JR Models website, that are all accessories for their kits. But sometimes he likes to branch off now. So I got my hooks into him. I reeled him in. He's one of us now, and I did send him big, heavy apologies this morning for that. So he's in. Now I got to get him. I'm trying to get him talked into going to the Acme show. Hopefully, maybe him and I will kind of do a pair up and be there or something, man. But he's wanting to start to go to a lot more shows. So a lot of you are going to start seeing him more. And it's going to be cool. Not only to bring his own creations, but, of course, to tote the company. But anyways, I wanted to mention those two guys. Go check those out. Plus, man, get on YouTube. There are so many already, man. I started last night at midnight. I started seeing the videos drop and started watching them. And it's always, this is a model car holiday. It's definitely turned into that. So we'll start with Irvin. Their first question is, what inspires you to do your build? What makes it go, bam, I got to do this?
Sometimes it's I go to a show or see on Facebook or YouTube someone else build something. So sometimes I'm inspired by a fellow modeler's build. Sometimes I'm inspired by one-to-one cars. Sometimes I'm inspired by a kit that comes out, or I have a set of wheels, and I just get it in my head that I have to build that, and hence the reason I got 30 started boxes of cars sitting right next to my bench. But I'm inspired many different ways. I'm not inspired by just one way. But once I get the vision in my head of what I want to do, then I can move forward. But I'm like I'll paint and do my wheels and get them already done, and then I'll kind of build a car around those a lot. So I'm distracted many different ways as far as being inspired. So I can't really pinpoint one direction, but there's many directions that I'm inspired.
Something that I've noticed about you as the past almost a year now that we've become friends, and I'm kind of in tune to your style and model building, is it always has centered around wheels and tires for you.
Pretty
That's always
much.
been something that sends you off into a direction. And that's the funny thing is when I met you at Acme, kind of, sort of, but not really.
When you blew me off?
When I blew you off, I talked to you a little before I blew you off. It was I saw his blue 69 Chevelle, and what attracted me to it was that you had those no cap, no ring rally wheels on it, and how you did it, how you had the the art of the rake thing that you got going. I mean, that was one of those models on the however thousand models that were on the tables, and there was a lot of inspiring ones. Yours really caught my eye. And it's kind of neat to see like what you build sometimes it's not so flashy. It's kind of like overlooked when you see a lot of the flashy models that a lot of the builders build, especially at a show like Acme. And you do this simplistic little everyday guy's hot rod from back in the 60s, 70s or 80s or something. You try to go for that style. And to me, that jumped out at me with your car then, and it does, and the little discussion that I kind of remember before I blew you off at Act, it was centered around, it was about the wheels, and tires on that
Right.
Chevelle that sent you going.
Yeah, I'm definitely a wheel and tire guy. I mean,
Yeah.
you can take, I don't care what you got, you can just grab a model you buy at a show that's built that's not very, very good. And you change the wheels and tires, and it's like real cars.
Yep.
You know, you can buy a $500
Yeah,
car and
yeah.
put $5,000 worth of wheels on it, and it looks great.
Oh
So
yeah,
I think
I've
models
done
is
it.
the same way.
It's amazing
Yeah.
how that'll change
It
it.
is.
Yeah.
What do they
So,
call that? They call that the second day car, right? The second
Yep.
well,
something.
when I was
Yep.
younger, of course, my dad had a body shop, and we did a lot of dealer work. And every Chevelle and Camaro that was sold in our town, it came in. It didn't matter if it was a 6 cylinder or a V8. It got stripes, and they put a set of wheels on it, and it just they'd fly off the lot because
Yeah.
that's wheels and tires to me is one of the most important things. As far I think as a hot rodder or a muscle car guy, I think everybody loves to pick their wheels and tires. I think it's important, of their signature or, just their look. Anybody's look, I think, evolves around the wheel and tire combination on a car.
It does. It definitely livens the car. I mean, immediately changes everything about the car. I know back in the '90s, when it was when 60s and '70s cars were easier to come by, and I was always a very very low budget guy, so I always bought roached out cars. But being in Arizona, they weren't rusted out, but boy, the paint was gone, the interior was gone. My cars were. I never had pretty cars. They were quite patinaed, and this was before patina was like cool. I was ahead of my time. But I would buy an old Camaro, and I used to do a lot of swap meet stuff. I used to part out a lot of cars. So anytime I could pick up a set of wheels, or even like they still had some good tires wrapped around them, I would have a stack of different wheels and tire combinations stacked in my garage, and I would buy another car, and immediately, first thing I'd do, I'd switch wheels and tires and stand back and go, throw some water on the thing. It made it look a little better, knock the dirt off of it, and I was heading to the Saturday night cruise in and totally happy with it. It completely took the car from this to that just by changing the wheels and tires.
Yep.
Especially Kreggers. I snagged Kreggers whenever I saw them.
Especially on the East Coast.
Super
East Coast Kreggers were really, really, really big.
Well, another thing, I used to, speaking of Kreggers, I would get really good deals on Kreggers because I would find rusted ones. And, what would happen? The chrome would pit a little, but it's very small little pits. It's amazing what an SOS pad will do, because I would take a set of Kreggers that nobody wanted because they had all this rust on them. But that really wasn't rust. They weren't rusty. It was just coming out of the pits, the little tiny pitting in the chrome, and I would just scrub them with the SOS pad, and they would look brand new, bling. And I stocked up on those things. I'd buy the wheels nobody wanted, or those off-brand ones that kind of looked like Kreggers, like Rocket Wheel, and I had a bunch of those. But yeah, wheels and tires, that definitely that can inspire a build. Just seeing really cool wheels on a just an everyday same old car makes it special.
Wheels, tires, and stance.
Yeah,
There it is.
that's it. That's all you need.
That's everything about Irvin, I'll tell you.
That's
So
what it's
Billy,
about for me.
yeah. So Billy,
I'm 100% agreement. Those are the most important things.
yeah. So what gets you? It's probably different builds that you've done. What has inspired you to build what models you have built? What's some of the big inspirations for you that get you going on a project?
So I have problems deciding.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have aphantasia, which is the inability to picture something in your mind.
Yeah.
So I can conceptualize, like I can look at a kit and have this vague idea because I can reference something that I've seen in the real world and have a vague idea of what I want. But then I kind of stall out because I can't get any deeper than something that I've already seen. So then I kind of have to start cross-referencing things, and it gets a little hard for me to pick the kit that I want to do and start deciding colors and wheels and stuff. So what I end up having to do is one of two things. Either somebody gives me a kit and I go, all right, I'm going to build that. Or I have all of my kits in a spreadsheet on my PC, and I literally hit randomize because I want to build. I do. Because I can't decide. And I literally will just, because I want to build all of them, I will just pick whichever one is on the top after randomize, and that's the one I'm going to build. Because
That's a good idea.
Because I can't yeah. It sounds so ridiculous. I know
Yeah,
this.
You're
I
kind
know.
of you're kind of saying that you have absolutely no vision, but, and this is something you know you and I have taught. I've always known about your thing, your syndrome, your whatever you would call that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's advent
Aphantasia.
aphantasia.
So think of the
And that's a
movie, the Disney
real
movie
thing.
Fantasia, and then put the aphantasia on the front of it.
Aphantasia. And you and I have talked about that a lot. And the thing that always blows my mind, and he says this like he can't visualize things, but yet if anybody is familiar, you know, again, down in the description below is a link to Billy's YouTube channel. Your models are pretty unique. You do come up with some unique, visionary stuff.
Oh, thanks.
You know, that Porsche you did, and I think
Yeah.
because you have this lack of something going on, you go to your other strengths, and you pick out things. You get inspired by other people's builds, or you get inspired by real cars, and you take a little bit of this and that, and you put it together and create your own. So I really think like you just finished, which I know is going to be a little part of the other subject we want to talk about. You just finished this little trike, and I'll tell you, dude, it was pretty original. I mean, the paint scheme you came up with,
Thank you.
and everything. So, you work with what you got, I guess.
Yeah, and I do. I have to, once I kind of decide on the kit, then I kind of will, I have a whole folder on my PC marked inspiration where I will constantly grab pictures from, you know, my phone or from the internet that I see. I really like that. And I
Yeah.
have an idea of how colors work from a conceptual level from studying colors. Look, this color works with this color, and I know triads and all those. I understand how colors work. So I
Yeah.
know if I like the look of that color on that card, then I know what other colors are supposed to work with that. I work on a more, it doesn't sound really like romantic. It's not a very, it's more of a mechanical level for me,
Yeah.
but it's how I end up coming up with the things that I do, because I go, okay, I know that works with that, and I like the look of that, and I like the look of that. Do those two things go together? That looks a little off. Maybe not. And so then I'll grab something over here. Does that look good? And then, you know, I will look at wheels and tires, and visually, once it's kind of together, I can go like, that looks correct. That doesn't look correct. Let me try something else. And it's a lot for me. I think this is why it takes me a little longer to build something, because a lot of it is a lot of trial and error, because I have to get it in front of me in order to see what it will look like. And sometimes that's a lot of playing with things back and forth.
Yeah, yeah, and another thing is like something that I've always kind of done for Billy, and we go back and forth on texting, is we have very similar taste in race cars, different types of racing, but kind of like the same era and all that. And anytime I see something really cool, I'm constantly sending him.
Yeah.
and I'm blowing his face off, because it's like that, you know, I send him into it. Oh, I gotta build that. Oh, I want to build that. You know,
so bad.
Yeah, I'm constantly throwing those at you, and then every once in a while, and then you'll throw me one and stuff. So we've always had this thing going back and forth of, I see something cool, and I'm like, I know Billy will think this is cool,
Yep.
because we have that connection of the same kind of styling and some of the different racing. Mostly 80s stuff. It seems like you and I bounce 80s
Yeah,
cars.
the 80s cars is, you know, the little bit boxy, but also trying to introduce the aero, you know, fender flares, that kind of stuff. I'm huge into, you know, the NASCAR and IMSA, the Group C, GTP, GTO, like all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I
And
just love
and a
that.
splash of old '80s pro stock. That's another one that
Yeah, funny cars, 70s and 80s funny cars and the pro stocks and stuff like that. I really dig the body lines and stuff from that era.
Yeah. Yeah, and that goes back. Here's a little bonus question for you because you didn't get to come on that podcast. When we talked about what influences us in our picking a kit to build or stuff, box art. I know you are a box art fan, and you and I are both John Lord fans.
Yes. Amazing stuff. Yes.
Yeah, we were. And those of you who don't know, John Lord was the artist who did those great monogram race cars back in the '80s. So that box art, and you and I both, and are fans of that. And I know Mark, you are too, man. He did an amazing. He was an amazing motorsports illustrator, and that just makes those kits alone. I remember back in the '80s just standing and looking at those kits on the shelf at the hobby shop. Yep, right there it is, and I'd look at them and it would make me want to buy that kit, and it got me into building race car models. Was those
Yeah.
John Lords.
Yeah, when I was a kid, my dad was building.
It's David Lord.
David-
I always say
David.
John Lord. John Lord was the keyboardist from Deep Purple.
I thought I was misremembering, but I was just like,
No,
go
no,
with
it was all me, buddy. It was all me. David
I just
Lord.
remember real quick. I just remember as a kid, my dad building and grabbing those kits, and they were the coolest looking on the shelf. And when my dad got them home, and he had them on his shelf, and when he would, open the box, and I always wanted to be like my dad. I wanted to be a race car driver, and just seeing those kits. And then when my dad would finish one, they looked so cool. And then the box art, and I drew, I constantly, I took the Circle Track and Open Wheel magazine, and I would draw the pictures. And again, because I had aphantasia, I could only draw I didn't know what that was back then, but I could only draw what was in front of me. So I would study his paintings on the box art and draw the box art. Like,
Neat.
I loved those. And so box art for me is really huge. I am not a fan of just taking those AMT from then. Those, just what a disservice to your
Yeah.
imagination and what you could make the kit look like. I know, again, this kind of goes into the next topic, but what you could do, and just how that works with your imagination of what you could do with the kit. And so, yeah, those box art pieces are just fantastic.
They are.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely a huge. That box art. All the other box arts too. I'm just a fan of box art. Even like
They're the
old-
modern day stuff. People
Yeah.
that were doing the retro stuff and the modern day stuff. There's some amazing box art stuff now that it's really, really good. The Sundowner, again, I know
Yeah.
people
Well-
get all wound up about that, but it
No,
really
it's
shows
awesome.
you the power of what good
Yep.
box art does, hands
that-
down.
And there's another artist who, to me, I'm becoming a huge fan of, is that Jeff Allison, who he did the Sundowner kit. He's been doing a lot of the over the past year. He was the new illustrator for round 2, and he's been doing just amazing box art. And he's a true car guy. I mean, he's got some classic cars himself and all that stuff, and he loves this stuff. And you can tell he's got quite a vision in his artwork. And yeah, he's doing box art that's selling kits. That is for sure. I think something got lost. We talked about that in this era. The company that owned a lot of those kits before round 2 models got them was kind of like not really trying hard, and they had to been.
And it
dropping
costs
the
more
kit.
money. You got to hire an
costs more
artist.
money.
And I
Yeah.
get that, but I mean,
Yeah.
again, you look at how that kit sold, and how much are you losing by spending that little bit more money. I don't know. I get that it's a business decision.
Oh
but
yeah,
as
absolutely.
as a kid, I remember the impact. I remember the impact it had on me as a kid,
Mhm.
and seeing when they started going to just having, when Monogram started putting the sprint car kit on the box art instead of
Yeah.
the paintings, it was like, ew. Oh,
Yeah,
the
'cause David.
Pennzoil, Jack Audenshield
Oh yeah.
Pennzoil sprint car, just
And the
instead of the
channel lock
cool,
one, I got one of those. Just
yeah, instead
boring.
of the cool, Bobby Davis Jr. and all those that were the nice paintings that were in the
Yeah, and
box.
those were David Lord paintings also.
I believe so.
Yeah,
And
he did those.
just,
The Coors car, the
yep,
Kinzer car.
Steve Kinzer and
Yeah.
Brad Doty and Sammy Swindell's
Yeah, those were
Blue
great
Max
looking.
car, just amazing. I did. In fact, my final in high school was of the Sammy Swindell Blue Max red
Oh yeah.
number 1.
Ah,
That was my in art. That was my final. I redid that painting.
Oh,
My
no
mom,
kidding.
my mom's
You
got it
still
hung
have
up.
it?
Yeah, my mom's got it. It's huge. It's a big one, and she's got it hung up in their house. My mom and dad.
Oh, geez, you got to take a picture of that and send that.
Yeah.
I got to see that. That's cool. Yeah, that's a good. I tell you that those were amazing illustrations to follow. I didn't realize you were an artist too. That
Well,
you did this.
again, I don't consider myself like that kind of an artist because I have to
Yeah.
look at something like that to do it. So I've always kind of just considered myself, for lack of a better term, copy paste.
Okay, well,
I have to look at something and then I can do it.
yeah. I'm getting a question from Tim Brown. He's asking if he should release his USAC build video or reveal video today or tomorrow.
do it.
Do it.
Tell them
We
Tuesday.
want to see that thing.
Do it now.
He
That's
is.
right.
I will say back to the USAC thing real quick, guys. You got to watch Throttle Powers. He's going to drop it here. I know he finished it. His is a mind blower. That's all I got to say about his. His is a mind blower.
Yeah.
I think you guys have seen it. What he did is. I don't think anybody else has done what he did. But
And a
anyway.
big tip of the hat to Fred for choosing this car, because this turned out to be just an awesome choice. I think everybody liked it.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be a really popular one. Well, it was a real popular one. This was a very popular kit. I remember, when Revell put that out in 1990, it was extremely well received, and they have been producing it ever since. I don't think they ever stopped producing a version of that kit. And there's
The great thing is you can do anything.
Yeah.
Streetcar. There's somebody was doing, or I think 2 people were doing 6 cylinders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw
there
those.
were so many great choices because you can do a street, showroom stock, modified. You could do any kind of round track car, SCCA, like I did the Grand Am series of NASCAR. There's just so much. Super stock, pro stock. There's just so much you can do with them.
Oh yeah, it's a versatile car. That's why the '69 Camaro has always been one of those popular American cars. It's up there with the '57 Chevy. And with that, there, hobby dude 007, Mr. Mark Batson. Why don't you tell us what inspires you when you take off on a build?
This will be real short. If it's got 4 wheels, I'm inspired.
Thank you, everyone. Come again.
Yeah. Seriously, other builders, I see stuff all the time. Aaron Thomas had a go-kart a while back that I probably spent more time looking that thing over and studying it. The thing was just absolutely, and I've never thought about building a go-kart. But wow, but I was inspired to go buy one. So,
yeah.
But same thing. Other builders, I can be driving down the road and see a car that just, wow. We've got a guy right here in town that drives a 56, and it's between the patina and the flat black on it, or kind of flat gray black. it looks just like a gasser. It's got the moon tank on the front.
Oh, no
It looks
kidding.
just like a gasser raised up in the front. And he drives it around here all the time. You see it. And I'm inspired by that. Yeah, it's just cool. Went and bought a 56 thinking about something similar. But with my background, my dad, my uncles, and all that, they've always been racers. So I spent a lot of time at the drag strip early on. Then when I got my NASCAR mechanics license, I was in the pits a lot. So I'm more centered around race cars. That's my love. But honestly, I'm inspired by anything out there. Irv, you've inspired me about the vans even more so, even though I wanted to do another one. He and I started seeing those when Jeff started carrying them. And then Hector built one and kind of kicked. I think that kicked us both off.
Yeah,
and
it's a slippery slope.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But it's just there's so many things that inspire me. Some of them are outside of my genre, so to speak. But still, if it's cool, I want to try it. I want to do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've shared with you before that one of the things that if I'm in a slump that I like to do is to totally change over and I'll build a commercial airliner. There's a couple of websites that carry decals for some of these out west. There's, I think it was Western Pacific had the casinos that would sponsor some of their passenger jets, and they would have some wild paint schemes on them. And when you think about it, as far as a slump buster goes, for me anyway, you got the two halves of the fuselage, two halves of the wings, rear, put them together, you're done.
Yeah.
And that just kind of, but and it's something that clears your mind from the automotive for a minute, but that's just me. But cars are my first love. And I just have so much fun with those things. And like I said, it is almost like if it's got four wheels, I'm inspired. But yeah, car shows, whether it's model car shows, real car shows, I love to go through. I love to watch Tim Brown, Throttle Power, when he goes to these car shows and stuff, because man, talk about some inspiration there. And I'll sit there and watch those things, sometimes a few times. But also the internet. Man, some car shows you can't get to in California and even in England. Man, there's been inspiring stuff. Here recently, I saw one of a smart car. You know, that little roller skate looking thing? And I'm thinking, oh, dude, the next thing you know, I'm on eBay and I have one. I have one here. But I have.
That's what happens.
I put a set of Kreggers on it. There you go.
Excuse me. Got all choked up.
Smart cars do that too.
Yeah. That'll do it to you. That's smart cars.
Yeah, with Kreggers.
I thought, I don't know. A car that's smarter than I am, and I don't know what that one is, but that's scary.
Boy, oh boy. Yeah, it's...
Now, there's a lot of inspiration out there all over the place.
There is.
And sometimes I look back at some of the old magazines, the stuff that like the late Ricky Couch and other people did that's just, man, he could come up with something out of his head that was just, you got to be kidding. But that's been inspiring to me.
Yeah. Yeah, he's...
And it also teaches you that kind of think outside the box, so to speak. And, yeah, there's some cool stuff. And Irv has come up with some stuff with these vans that I've just gone, where did he think of? Where did that come
with
from?
the vans for a while.
3D printing has opened up like creativity of subjects that you just don't, that we haven't seen for a long time. And I think
never seen.
I think it's refreshing to build something that's not mainstream, you know. And I think the older we get, like I like stuff now that I never liked when I was young. It's like stuff that I used to hate. It's like, oh, that's not too bad looking now. It's like, so I think when you get older and you built for a long time and you build a lot of the same stuff, that you're just looking for stuff that's, you know, it's different. But I love, like with cars in general, I just love the creativity that there is no end to the creativity that someone can do with a model car.
No,
Like, you can be as creative as you want or as least creative as you want. It's all good. So, some of this bizarre, wild looking stuff, it's like it's so cool because it's someone's created that and it's come from their mind, or it's just that's what I love about cars in general, is that there's no guidelines. Like, there's no boundaries.
yeah, definitely. It's
And it's
definitely
like
true.
Fred Henry, our buddy Fred Henry says, if you can dream it,
Yeah.
build it.
Yep.
Boy,
And it's
yeah,
a whole
he
lot
nails
easier
it.
to do that in scale. A whole lot easier
Yeah.
to do that in scale than it is in real life. Too.
And
And
cheaper.
cheaper.
Yeah, a lot cheaper. Yeah.
Psych. Yeah, good one. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, inspiration. For me, it actually is a big problem because I get too inspired too much, too many every day, and internet has made it worse. It used to be magazines, just driving around like what you said, Mark, going to car shows, just drive. This one time something really happened, very bizarre, that inspired a build that I started working on. And this was a long time ago. I'm driving down the road, and just far away, coming into my direction as I'm just driving, there was just this black car coming. And for some reason, the way it looked and the way it was I don't know, from far away, I envisioned this 68, 69 GTO wide body with big tires and all this. And as it got closer to me, it turned into like a Honda Civic or something weird like that. I don't know why, but it inspired me, even though it was my brain playing tricks on me. I saw some kind of illusion happen. It was probably in the summer, very hot here. When it's 250 degrees, your brain kind of melts. But it got me to building one, and I pulled out a monogram 68 Camaro. No, not, I mean 68 GTO, and I put the flares from the monogram 83 NASCAR Thunderbird, those bubbly flares, and I blended those into the body and made a ridiculous wide body, because that's what I saw coming down the road. I envisioned this, and so just seeing stuff on the street and going to the car shows, definitely. But now with the internet and YouTube, and I'm constantly bombarded with cool stuff, like what I said about I'm constantly going through my feed. I see something cool, that I send it to Billy and trouble him with that stuff. you know I'm constantly seeing and saving pictures. I've got so many pictures of so many things saved. It almost fills my head up too much, and then all of a sudden what I'm working on, it takes me away from what I'm working on, and I want to work on this now, this idea that came in my head. So it's kind of become, it's inspiration, but it's become kind of a hindrance to my building, because it takes my mind off of what I'm working on, and I have a hard time. That's why I don't finish a lot of projects, and it's hard to stay focused on one. I'm very ADD or whatever, and I'm all over the place constantly. Never can keep my head on straight. So inspiration, I wish I could turn it off like a tap. I really would like to stop some inspiration coming in, because I just have too much going on. But it is a good thing, I just get inspired. Yeah, seeing people's build. I'll see somebody's just did something cool with a model that I never even thought of even owning the kit. Then all of a sudden, I got to go hunt the kit down. I need that kit because someone did something
Smart
cool
car.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Smart car.
Smart
Yep.
car. There you go. Exactly like what happened to you. Now,
And it's like you have to have it at that moment. Like, you can't
at that
wait.
moment. Yeah.
It's like you can't, and then you can't find it. It's like, and then you pay too much money for it because you have to have it right now.
Well, yeah, that, and it's like there was one that happened earlier this week, that a kit that when it was around, I never looked at. I didn't care about it, wasn't interested in it, and then I saw something that somebody did with one. It's like, oh my gosh, I gotta have one. Sorry about that. And then I immediately get onto eBay and I find they're going for $200, and it's like, well, that inspiration just got tanked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can kill some inspiration. I'm
Well,
not really.
Irv, you'll appreciate this, Irv. You know what inspired me on that smart car? Something unique. The body wasn't changed. It wasn't a unique paint job. It was the wheels.
Oh,
There you go.
No joke. No joke. The wheels were not the usual. Now, I've seen one running around here that's like baby blue, and the rims are baby blue that match, and it's pretty cool. But this one had like mini keystones. It resembled
wow.
a keystone, and they were minis. But this thing was sitting way down with those wheels, and I thought, hey, it might even have the Arterake on it. I don't know.
Ah,
But
jeez.
the wheels inspired that. And so I go home and order one. And let me
Can't
tell
wait
you,
to
that's
see
another
that.
kit that's hard to find too.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even know there was one.
Yeah.
There
See,
is.
that's-
It's the Revell did it as a snap together.
Mm.
really? I didn't know that.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Now I
Revell
got
did
to
a
look for
snap
one.
together.
I thought you were going to say like Fujimi or something.
Yeah,
Revell?
No, it's a Revell snap together. If I'd have known, I would have brought it in here to show you. But yeah, it's kind of unique.
Now I'm disappointed that I didn't even know I was going to be disappointed.
The body was molded in color, and it comes with like 4 different color sets of fenders, so you can pick a color for the fenders and stuff too. But I'm gonna change up the wheels. Yeah, like the real car.
Well, it is
Swap out your fenders.
People who buy, I don't know if it comes with it or you can order them, but people who buy smart cars, they get a set of different colored fenders and body panels because they snap off and snap on. So you can change the color of your car every day of the week.
My brother repaired one of them in his body shop.
I thought you were
and when he had it in the paint booth, you could almost do a U-turn in the paint booth with it.
Yeah.
It was so small.
Yes.
It wasn't it Mercedes, one of their divisions that made that car, I think.
BMW, I believe it was.
People used to stuff Hayabusa motors in those things, and they would rip.
Jeez.
Somebody said it was like a 3-cylinder or something like that.
Yeah, and they would shove, I believe, if I remember right, they would stuff overboard Hayabusa motors or something. 1300cc, the Hayabusa motors, something like that in them, and they would flat scream.
Oh, I bet. Holy cow, that could be terrifying. You know, I saw a video on those smart cars, a test crash video, that they're surprisingly extremely safe. They took one and put it right into a concrete K-rail at extremely high speeds, and the crash test dummy, data came out that been totally survivable and not even no problem in the legs. They didn't get the legs broken or nothing like that. And it was a crazy hit too.
Yeah,
basically, even this kit, if you look at just the basic without the doors, the front, back on it, it just looks like a roll cage with wheels on it.
Pretty much.
The basic frame of it. In fact, they did a commercial. I looked up online, and they had one sitting, and then they bring a crane in and set a Suburban on top of it.
Oh my goodness.
And it just their whole point was it's a safe vehicle.
Nope.
I'm not.
I don't think anyone.
You know what though? Even if the cage part of it survived, the concussion your body would take, that's a different story.
I had a good friend actually get in an accident. He owned a smart car and got hit by an ambulance.
Oh, convenient.
Yes. They were on their way, and I mean, they were hauling and completely smashed and totaled the smart car that he was in. But
wow,
it took it. I mean, he had a few bumps and bruises, but he was all right. But they hit him he was dead stop, and they hit him doing 45.
Did they hit him in the side or the rear or the front or?
I don't remember, and so it would be a guess right now. But yeah,
either way,
they
it hurt.
At that point, it's pretty much the same on all sides of that car.
It really is. You're as close to each side of that car when you're sitting in it.
He said he felt it though, like the whole car, like it took that car and shoved it, like just completely through the car.
But that'd be like throwing a ball.
Yeah, but he said he was thoroughly impressed. Like, he almost went and bought another one. He was that impressed with how protected he was in that car.
But did he buy another one?
But he didn't.
Maybe he didn't.
But
Do
he
they
didn't.
still make them?
I don't know.
I'm not
I
sure.
don't know.
You know, after this is done, this podcast done, I'm going to go look for these.
Guess what? We're all going to go
smart
look at.
car models, and I'm going to get all
It'll be
the
the next
information
USAC
on them.
build.
And then I'm gonna go find a Hayabusa model.
Get
3D
some
printed.
twin turbos for it.
Yep. I'm gonna stuff that one in there.
Oh,
I'm going to ask Ryan this week. Can you make wheels for smart cars?
oh, jeez.
One of those things like
that goes down a whole
12
new...
or 13. I guess those are, what is that, 12 or 13-inch wheel or something?
Probably.
But yeah,
Probably
this
a 12.
One,
Wouldn't it be a 12?
11 or 12.
I would have never given a thought to a smart car until I see this thing sitting low with those cool wheels on it. And I'm like, oh, I got to have one of those.
And now, look, to Irvin's earlier point, things look better as they get old. As you get older, he's thinking now.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
thinking
I'm getting
now.
one. I'm
Getting
getting
classic.
Not only that, he's thinking that a little 12 or 13-inch 3-spoke looks really good.
Oh, yeah.
We should do a smart car build off.
Oh, you know what? Now we're all going to be looking for one. We probably should. Wouldn't
Yeah.
it be
Just
fun?
finding them. Hey, I just got to tell you, be ready for the sticker shock.
Oh, okay. Well, that might
Yeah, there you go.
that might end that quest.
There we go. Yeah, that can always put an end to that.
And now we've circled back to the inspiration part of this podcast.
Oh, thank you, Mark. That's it. Inspiration.
While we're
box art.
chatting, I'm checking something here real quick.
Oh,
no.
look it up.
I want to make a smart car limo. I'm
He's
gonna
like,
stretch
it's only
it.
$175 now since I bought it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I bet the price just went up on him
Right?
after this podcast.
I know.
is
We
out
just
there.
increased the value of those things. Who'd have thunk that, huh?
This used
Oh,
to be
my
really
goodness.
prevalent in video games when I was really into like retro games. Somebody would talk about it on a podcast and it would jump the price of that video game
No kidding.
exponentially. And everybody's like, oh, thanks. You talked about it. Now we can't get it anymore. It's like
Yeah.
some like cheap, nobody ever knew, but it was like a hidden gem. It was like $5 and then it would jump to like $35.
Okay, guys, it's 24th scale. There is, I just pulled this one up on eBay. It's only 25, so this one's not bad, but I don't know if you can even see that. You see the different color fenders.
Look at that
Yeah.
That's
thing.
the kid. It's the Rebel, but the different color fenders there.
This is hilarious.
Yeah.
The three of us are going to start a bidding war. We're going
I
on.
gave more. I think I gave
Hold
more
on,
than
everybody.
that for mine.
This is hilarious.
But,
Oh my gosh, that's great.
I'm gonna put like
Smart
a
car.
it's like this. Yeah, there will be a bidding war because that's the only one I see on eBay right now.
Oh,
But,
It's gonna turn into an IMSA car right now.
well, you got extra fenders, so you can probably widen that thing. There you go. It comes with extra fenders.
I'm gonna find some 13-inch
hey, with all
BBSs
the
to put on
3D
there.
guys, hey, all you 3D guys out there, smart car.
Smart car. And
We
what's
need
great,
one.
you put 15-inch wheels on that, you just donked it out. More
Raise it up.
inspiration for y'all.
This is very impressive.
Oh my goodness, yes. Wow. Oh,
I didn't look at Amazon, but I know they're out there. It just, I feel kind of bad because I gave more than 25 for mine, but oh well.
Well, if we all start bidding on that other one, we'll all give more than $25.
It might, we might all run that one up there.
yeah.
Little did you know when I was gonna be on today, did we
Think
know
about
we were
smart
gonna
cars.
Yeah, think about smart cars steering that
I was
direction.
going to say we have fallen off the off the rails on this one, man.
This is
That is
usually what
a,
happens when I get on a podcast. So
Yeah.
I forget
That's
what we
what
were
happens
talking about
when
other than smart cars.
when we're inspired by strange things.
Yes.
And Matt, what else inspires you?
I get a YouTube, that dreaded YouTube. I get on there now. You can find every race that ever happened, and in good,
Oh,
and now great, like especially the old NASCAR races. Just about every race from the '80s, and it's good quality now. There's several channels, but NASCAR themselves
yep.
and a couple of
Yeah.
the big channels, they've actually started putting up old races, and they're like watching them live now. And you watch the 1983 Richmond race. Oh man, now that gets me going. Because right now I am in a kick. Now that I got my USAC Camaro done, I've been dying to get it done because I just want to build a bunch of '80s NASCAR race cars really bad. And I've got a
Speaking
really
of
cool
that,
project I'm getting ready to go on. So I've been watching those races, and I just keep getting ideas for all the cool cars.
Don't you have a group build?
Do have a group build,
yes,
yes. Yep.
Shameless
that's the end of
plug.
the year. End of the
Shame.
year, isn't it?
Yep, we got to the end of the year, but I don't know. Mark, did you know Mark is one of my admins on my NASCAR? What do I call that? Luka sees NASCAR and Circle Track and
And
everything
circle
else.
track. Yeah.
Modeling headquarters. Anyways, yes, we have a year-long group build to build from the decade of the downsized cars when they downsized the cars in '81 to '91, and they have to be cup cars. But I just made an announcement for an actual. It's going to be a judged model contest, online model contest. That is the '81 to '89 Monte Carlo build. You can use a monogram or Salvino
You did
Terra
that
model.
because you knew I was building a Thunderbird.
Yeah, I didn't want to put any pressure on you. I didn't want to put pressure on you. So I'm thinking I'm going to do a yearly NASCAR, be different every year, obviously. So maybe next year it'll be the Thunderbirds when you start your Monte Carlo there, Mark.
You'll just pick
But
Illumina.
Illumina. But I'm going to try this out. It's going to be an actual judged online. I'm going to actually have a website that I'll have pages for each entrant on that website, and it ends on January 1st of 2027, and we'll announce the first, second, and third place winners right after the Daytona 527. So
Nice.
that's what we're doing over there. Go on over to, again, and I believe in the description below, you can find it, the Luka C NASCAR, whatever the heck, modeling thing job. Go over there, join up. Mark helps me out a lot with it. He's my right-hand man
Just,
on that one.
Just a suggestion. That same era, through the '80s, there were some fantastic looking Bush series cars.
Yes, and
I
I
do
did
one year just dedicated to the Bush series.
Well,
Those
yeah. Now
Saturday races.
that's a thought right there. That's for a later on. But that's something else about
Yeah.
this Monte Carlo. This doesn't have to be just a Winston Cup car. It has to be the kit. That's all we're going for. The '80s Monte Carlo, whether it's the notchback or the here we're talking about inspiration here. Did we lose you, Billy? Oh man, he'll be back. So it's the notchback or the Aero Coupe, and you can do a Bush car, you can do a limited late model, whatever, even a
Is
dirt
that
track
part of
car
this
with it.
year's? Is that part of this year's, or is that
It started right now, and you have
okay?
till
Okay.
January 1st to get your entry in. And also, if you already have a bill, and this is a full on, man, I'm looking for full on build, detailed build. Go for it, man. Go crazy with it. And this is about like excellence in modeling. And even if you have one done, and people can enter ones that they've already finished. You don't have to build for this. I just want a model contest for that particular kit and build what you want with it. Kind of keep it in the circle track world, but you could build a dirt track or a late model asphalt or whatever you want to do with it.
First prize will be a smart car.
Yes, smart car. Yeah, I gotta buy that kit because that'll be the first prize. So, yep. So we got that rolling, and man, we lost Billy. I wonder. With that, you guys.
There he is.
There
He's
he is.
back.
He's coming back.
I'm here.
Whoop.
And there we
Whoop.
go. Are you
There
there?
he
Are
is.
you there?
I'm here.
He's back.
Oh goodness.
I had to let the dog out. I just turned the camera off. Is all.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
He let the dogs out.
Woof.
I won't even cut that out. We can leave that. That's how awesome this podcast is.
Great.
I was worried that we lost you and you were gone forever. and ever.
No, I turned. Well, I didn't want you staring at the background, so I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah, his name was still up there.
Yeah. You still had a square.
Circle in the squirt. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, anyway. So that's that with inspirations, I guess, and the model contest coming up, and go on over and all that other NASCAR kind of horse stuff going on. So the next thing I want to kind of talk about, which is something that has been grinding my gears for a long time, and I know a whole bunch of us, we've talked about this, and I'm not going on a negative thing here. I don't want to get negative about it. I actually want to inspire these people. I hope they're listening. There's constantly this bagging of MPC kits. I don't know why MPC got singled out in a bashing of MPC kits, and there are people that have either listened to it or and I know, and there are some, boy, we've talked about, there are some doozies and disappointments in the MPC line if you're not accustomed to it, or you don't really know what you're getting into. One of the is the GTOs, the 67, the 70, the 71, 72s that they did. That was all based off of the same tooling. That's a hard kit to swallow. Really, that one is that's a tough build, but the bodies, they really did get the dimensions nice. You can build a great looking GTO, and you have no other choice anyways. There's nobody else building those producing GTO kits, so you got to, if you want to build a 70 GTO, a 72 GTO, that's what you got to do. And we all have been doing it for a long time. Even though I know, Billy, you're technically kind of new into the hobby. You're like into your second year of doing it, but your dad, who, by the way, guys, his dad's an incredibly accomplished modeler, still involved in the hobby, still goes to model shows and brings hardware home.
Yep, we go.
And you also owned a hobby shop.
Yep.
So, and being the car guy that he is, he's still can come into and be with us in this, being in the hobby for a long time. We're kind of used to these MPC kits, and we also remember when for a while we couldn't get these kits, and a lot of the when there was nobody producing those MPC kits that are kind of complained about, and we were always hunting for them, and they went for big prices like a 70 GTO, the 72 GTO. I remember I wanted a 72 GTO so bad, I paid some money or did some heavy trading to get one, and then they finally started popping it back out in the 2000s, but it was gone for a good 20 years. So these newer guys coming in, they're looking at the basic chassis that has molded in and rear end and a molded in exhaust, and everybody gets upset about that. Understandably, the kits were simpler and they get a little tough to put together. But it has blanketed the three letters MPC under a bad val that there's so many builders going, if it says MPC on, I'm not buying that kit. I'm not having anything to do with it. And I think you're really, really missing out, because MPC did some amazing kits too. Really, really well, full detail kits. And they were really kicking it in the 80s. They really stepped it up. And they were coming out with kits of up-to-date cars at the time, and now Round 2 is starting to reproduce those kits, like the Beretta, and they just brought out the SVO Taurus and the Dodge, what is it, the 80s Dodge Daytona and all that stuff like that, and actually you get those kits, and the suspension and the engine is incredibly detailed, and they go together really well. The pickup trucks, all that stuff. they really do have some amazing kits that if you just put up that blinder of, if it says NPC on it, it's a crap kit, I want nothing to do with it, you're losing out. And take a crack at some of the lesser desirable, the ones that get beat up and kind of deserve it. Because honestly, those kits are pretty good too. They really are. You can, you want to do a 70, 71, 72 GTO, that body is really nice. It's dimensions are great. It looks great. You can do a lot. And, we kit bash, man. Do a Fred Henry, get a 67 Chevelle Pro Street and jam it up underneath that GTO body, and you're golden. So, what do you guys? How are your feelings about MPC? You know what? I want to go directly to Billy because he just got finished with MPC.
I don't think you want to ask me this question yet. I think you
I
should talk to
do.
the other two people.
I want to ask.
It's too fresh. It'll hurt too bad.
I don't.
Yeah, too soon.
I don't think you want me to answer this right away.
We want all the perspectives.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It just depends on how you would like to attack the question, I guess. Because, look, that was only my 6th kit. So I built the MPC Cobra Chopper. Shameless plug on Billy Strange Auto Models. I just finished the video. So
Check it out.
that kit is not something I would normally build, number one. So take all this with a grain of salt, because for a little bit of context, effectively this was a buddy build between my dad, my brother, and I. We all bought each other kits that we wouldn't normally build, and then we built them so that we could show them at a model contest, so that basically we couldn't just sew them together. Not that we would, but all in good fun. This is not a kit that I would normally build, and you could see kind of my descent into madness a little bit, because I started out going like, this isn't that bad, and then pretty soon it was like, oh, this is kind of hard, and then it was like, oh, nothing goes together. Oh, nothing works. There's nothing fit it. Everything's not molded right. It's not. Who designed this thing? How did anybody build this in the 70s, especially children, with the glue we had? And
that's why we had firecrackers.
So that's kind of where, when I got to the end of the build, I don't quit builds, probably because I still feel like I'm learning.
Mm-hmm.
So
we all are.
Right. So I don't feel like you should, or at least for me, I'm not quitting a build. I will finish it. It may not turn out like I want it to, but if I don't finish, then there's steps in there that I could have learned there on a build that may not turn out like I didn't want it to, instead of on a build that could have turned out nice.
Wow.
Had I learned the lessons on the build that didn't turn out well, if that makes sense. So I finished the build that may not turn out well, but it's finished. So I learned the lessons there instead of something that could have turned out nice, except I shortcut this one and then learned that lesson over here on the build that could have turned out nice, but I chose not to. Instead, I learned that lesson over here and ruined this build over here too, because I didn't finish this one.
That's a great way to look at that.
Yeah, it's race car stuff
like that.
It's race car stuff from when I used to race cars. You run every lap that you possibly can, unless there's a reason that you don't.
You lost a wheel.
Yeah. Otherwise, you race until you're not racing anymore. And then when you're not racing anymore, then you're not learning anything. So that's kind of where my thought process is. So anyway,
he raced sprint cars, so we know what happens when you're not racing anymore.
This is part of my problems. I had one too many times. I can understand, though, why somebody would be building that kit and be like, just chuck this thing in the frickin' garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if that is their first experience with that kit. So in that particular case, maybe somebody used to be in the hobby a long time ago, maybe saw that kit back in the 70s or the 80s. It was kind of like, that's kind of a cool kit. And then they're out of the hobby for a long time, and then they're just getting back into it, sees that kit on the shelf and is like, I remember that kit. Dude, I wanted to build that kit back in the day. This would be a cool kit to kind of, sink my teeth into for one of my first few builds. They get the kit, they start putting it together, and it's like, this is where we're at? This sucks. And they just chuck in. I'm like, I'm never buying another one of those things again. I understand you.
Yeah.
I completely get why you would never touch that. I completely understand why you would never want to build anything by that particular brand again, because you've just soured the relationship between you, your dollar, and that manufacturer. Like, I get it. Not everybody is plugged in to the hobby, to the internet, to magazines and everything else, like the people that would be watching this, us, people going to shows. And my brain goes to the money you spent retooling that, not retooling, but, repopping that kit. You probably could have saved and put that somewhere else onto a better kit, like what you're talking about, the better MPC kits.
Right, exactly.
So
that's a really good way of looking at this.
So my brain goes to that, where I understand the more experienced modeler. Like, I didn't give up. Even though I don't consider myself super experienced, I'm stubborn and I didn't give up. But I can't expect my level of stubbornness out of somebody else. Same thing with an experienced modeler, like somebody like my dad. I gave the example in the video. My dad already saw the shortcomings in a similar kit, and he chopped the thing at the triple tree, pinned it, and then changed the rake on the front end, and it allowed him to do a few things that when I started putting it together, I realized I should have been doing that if I cared that much. I didn't. But if I was really trying to do a few things, after I had gotten to that point, I realized what was going to happen, and the rake caused the handlebars to basically sit in the person's lap.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And I was really disappointed in that. But there's no way to fix that without completely changing how that sits in the tube for the triple tree and everything. So
right.
My dad changed all that, because my dad already saw the problems before he ever even put it together. Like, that's what an experienced modeler does. And so they can work around that. They can kit bash like you were talking about. They can do all these things because they understand, and it's not a big deal to them, because they're either going to swap out engines. They're going to, you're talking about the molded in stuff. Some people don't want to go to that. Now, we can say a little bit of that is incumbent upon the person buying the kit to know what they're buying, but that's also on the manufacturer to label what the customer is getting. Are you getting a curbside? Are you getting a kit that is molded in? Are you getting, there's layers to all of this.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, and I got to give some huge props to Round 2 Models for something that they started doing, quite a long time ago, that has been extremely beneficial to us and to people coming in who aren't so much of the know, is the fact that they put
on the back
kind of a map of the parts on the bottom of the box, and you can kind of see what you're getting in a way. And they give enough, and plus there's so many YouTubers that get the kits, and you can find out so easy. But something that you bring up with this is, I think, when these people, they get discouraged like that, don't get onto the Facebook and start bashing and come negative. The way you stated it was perfect, Billy. you were definitely showing your displeasure and the possibility of, I don't think I'll ever buy another MPC kit. You know, if you were like not in the know, if you were judging from that kit and that experience, if they would keep the open mind and then ask there's so many builders on the Facebook groups that are experienced and build these kits and work around it. Go, well, don't shut yourself out so quick, because you might miss out on some really great kits because it's not MPC. It's just a part of MPC. Go ahead, and there's some amazing MPC kits that you will probably love. And you ask questions and find out from other builders too. What are the good ones and what do you have interest in, and stuff. Let's not immediately go on the negative and going, Round 2 is a terrible company and their quality control is in the crapper and I hate them, and all MPC kits should be collected, burned, and the ashes shot into space. So we want to try to keep it, keep people motivated, and man, it's a bummer. We've all ran into it. Again, the 67 GTO, I just won't ever touch one again, but it makes me weep. But I still have a few, and who knows what I can do with them, at least the body or something one day. Go ahead, Mark.
Also, you got a lot of, well, when it comes to airplanes, I've always heard stay away from Heller, because even though they make stuff that no one else makes as far as an aircraft goes, the quality and what you're getting is just not worth So I think that not just MPC, but I think in different genres, you're going to have people that kind of put down different manufacturers.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, you may be missing out, because just like Heller, maybe, I don't know what their quality is. I haven't built one, but I've always heard that that's not a great quality. But if it's the only one available, then you got to be a modeler. You got to do some scratch building or whatever to fix it, which you don't buy a kit to fix it, but you buy a kit to build.
Yeah.
There's a certain level of acceptability depending on what you're buying, right? So if you buy a mass-produced kit, you have to have a little bit of understanding, or at least I would hope, because you are a consumer of not only model kits but in electronics and everything, that although it's a bummer, sometimes you're going to get something that doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we have warranties. That's why we have returns, exchanges. Same applies here. You're going to get a short shot. You're going to get a part that isn't quite up to spec. So you can either work with it, fix it a little bit and get it to do what you need it to do. That just kind of happens. Then there is the other side where it's just, I was watching Mars Garage, and he has this little bug thing from AMT, and one half of the engine is completely different size than the other half of the block.
Really?
It's not right at all. And you're just like, what in the world is that? It's that kind of stuff where you're just like, was that really worth redoing? Repopping? Should we have done that? I don't know about that. So those kinds of things, I think, are the stuff that should be avoided. The things where, people are complaining about molded in detail and that kind of, I don't know that that's that big a deal. Just know what you're buying. And if you don't like that particular thing, look, that's on MPC, or that's on Revell, that's on whoever the kit manufacturer is, to make something that person likes. It, in my opinion, it is not that person's fault that they have an experience with the kit that they don't enjoy. That's their prerogative. The pricing that you pay on a kit now, means people are more picky about what they're spending their dollar on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if they spend $25 to $35 on a kit and they weren't happy with their dollar, there are plenty of other kits that they can go buy that will make them happy. So if they sit there and go, look, that manufacturer didn't make me happy with the kit that I purchased, I'm going to avoid them. Right? As modelers, we sit there and go until something makes me go, ooh, I have to have that. You'll find that that person will then buy that manufacturer again when something inspires them to go call back,
fire
to go buy that particular kit from that manufacturer that they swore off from earlier. So to me, it's more of a manufacturer thing. That manufacturer just has to make sure that they're producing a kit that that person wants to buy. And hopefully, this is kind of where I go back to from my first point, is that they should be putting out a product that that person enjoys to begin with.
Yeah. Yep. You're right. You're right. And I think with all the, I'll go back to what I said, with all of the information that's out there, for the people that have a dissatisfied experience with a particular kit, ask questions or go out there or listen, man, the last MPC kit I got was so horrific, but they've got this Taurus I want to do, but I'm spooked that this thing's going to be just a piece of garbage with molded in this. And then, have any of you built this? And it's like, oh, actually, that kit is extremely well designed and extremely well, and it has its shortcomings. And nowadays, with some of the shortcomings, there's some aftermarket guys who sometimes make fixes for those shortcomings. So, we've got so much more today. You can make almost anything work. But
what you want is to get people in the door, and then you want them to do what you're talking about, right? But we have to get people in the door with a good experience so that when they get to the next kit that they maybe aren't as happy with, they don't just go, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, or I don't want to mess with that manufacturer anymore. They then go and ask the questions, and then there's so many options we have. There's so many resources, and people like all three of you are so experienced. I learned from all of you guys. It's such a wealth of knowledge that has sped my learning curve up exponentially. In all that. I mean, Matt, I ask questions to you all the time. Like, what do I do? How do I do this? But we need to get them to that point, right? Yeah. To understand
it's kind
3D printing and all that. So it's an onboarding process. And if we could just focus on the kits, that would make life a little easier. Doesn't have to be easy. That's not what I'm saying. It's just a little easier. Don't make the Cobra chopper, please. And just make life a little easier. The onboarding process and the retention rate of people might be a little better, so that we can keep them in the hobby for longer, so that they can learn and then ask questions and be much happier. And then we all get more and better kits because people are spending money, and that makes the manufacturers money. They can spend more money, and it's just a cycle that keeps going.
And that is how important us as content creators, we've taken on a job that it's kind of our responsibility to get this type of messaging out to everybody and to be available to them to in the comments. Ask us these questions. We read the comments. You see us all. We're all very visible on all the Facebook groups and stuff, and that's what we're there for. That's why we do this, and we've all taken on this kind of job to really help out our fellow car modelers and modelers in general. Is we have this experience to kind of help you go into the right direction. Like man, I feel for you, man. I understand why you had such a horrible experience with that kid. I get it. I know what you mean. And but check this out, man. Maybe try this one. So Art, the Arterake over there, Irvin.
Well, I appreciate the perspective that you gave on that, Billy, because we're going to have different perspectives. And I'm from the old school, and we grew up with these kits. And so my perspective is these are kits that I loved, built as a kid, can't afford to pay the collector prices for them. And when they come back out, I'm embracing them because number one, I like the box art because I'm a sucker for that.
Sure.
Because they've been doing the retro box art. And number two, it gets a chance for me to relive my childhood. Now, I go in buying them knowing that they are probably not going to fit, and other things, especially like when Luka did the 67 GTO challenge.
No,
I knew that I had one of those kits, and I knew how bad it was in general. And it's not a kit I would prefer to build, but I chose to take a negative and make a positive out of it. I took that as a challenge to put that kit together. Now, what I did was fun. It didn't take me long to do. I actually covered mine with a tarp, and I used. Luka had his parameters on the build rules were to try to use everything in the box. So I cut up every sprue, every extra part. I stuffed it all in that car, and I used a whole tube of old-fashioned Testor's glue, just like when I was a kid. I used everything out of that kit except for the bags, the instructions, and the box. Great. I put everything in there. And I got comments. I got a comment. A guy told me I was wasteful. I used everything in the box, and I was wasteful, and I ruined that kit. And I had so much fun doing that. It only took me, I only spent a couple hours on it, and it was so much fun. And so I got a lot of enjoyment out of it. And to me, that was the whole point of model kits. Is it really doesn't matter I don't care if you blow them up when you're done like we did when we were kids. If you get enjoyment out of it and it's a hobby, I don't think there's a wrong and right way, but I do think that the younger generation is not educated on what some of these kits are, the older kits. As
I agree.
It's a mold that's been out since the 60s, and some of them they popped out a lot. Some of them they haven't as many, but they're still it's primitive technology. I mean, it was what was accepted in the day as, back in the day, that was technology. It was like state of the art when those kits came out when we were kids. So I appreciate both perspectives.
Yeah.
I can understand. The thing I don't like is that you have a bad experience and right away you got to rush to Facebook. There was a guy on there the other day, and I don't know whose channel it was, but there was a guy on Facebook the other day bashing some of these Mobius Ford pickup trucks. And that's a great kit. Like, it's a great kit. Like, that's modern technology. I think a lot of people get confused about how the windshields pop in from the outside versus the inside. But he was complaining about this kit, like, right off the bat. Not asking for solutions, just, like, right off the back. Just bashing it to bash it. Like a knee-jerk reaction instead of holding back and asking questions. He's just like never going to buy it again. So it isn't just NPC that people are doing that to.
Right.
It's just that Facebook is like you can express yourself right away, and it's kind of like. So I think it's unfair, but
But that's just humans being
the consumer.
Human, right?
The consumer has the control of what's being made by not buying it. And we continually buy it, so they're going to continue to make it. So, the Sundowner is a perfect example of a kit that's been out for what? A long time.
Year.
They changed the decals and did an incredible box art, and all of a sudden it's a feeding frenzy like there's sharks in the water. So, if we continue to buy the stuff, if you guys or anybody out there thinks it's crap, then don't buy it. If you don't buy it, they'll quit making it. Mm-hmm. So you have the control of what you want to buy. I never force anybody to buy anything as far as what the kit manufacturers produce. I only control what I buy and what I want. So if the consumer doesn't buy it, then they'll stop making them. But I'm buying them because I grew up. My perspective is I grew up with that stuff. I love those old NPC kits. I go in with an open mind, that knowing that probably 3/4 of it might not fit, but there's other solutions to doing that. You know, you have the excellent, like with the 70 GTO. You know, you have the excellent. The MPC actually produced that 60, was it 69 or 68 442.
Yeah, the MPC originally did the 69.
You could use the chassis out of that. Ravel's done the 68 and 69 Chevelles. Excellent chassis. That's all the same cars. I don't know how they fit from manufacturer to manufacturer, but you could. There's plenty of stuff out there for those mid-size GM cars that you can
there is.
you can use. So you know there is other ways to get around something, but that's just how I feel about it. But I don't condemn anybody that doesn't like them, because some of them, yeah, I don't like them either. But if it's got a cool box art, I'm gonna buy it because I'm a sucker for it. But
And
you know,
you just mentioned the kit. I want to circle back to real fast, because I bet you there's people that go, no, that's an AMG kit. That 69 Oldsmobile, and I was really in tune to that when it came out. It came out in like 1987, and I got real excited about it because my first car was a 69 Cutlass S convertible.
that's
And
a
I
good
always
kit.
wanted yeah, and when they announced it coming out, I got real excited about it and got it when it came out and built it, and I bought several of them. The very first one to come out, that was put out by MPC.
Yes.
Now after that, because MPC at that point in time was right at that time where I think MPC did the kit, but that was at that time when would it have been Rattle that bought MPC and brought him in with AMT? Something like that happened like in
Something like
87, 88.
Yeah, I think it was one of the last. I think it was one of the last new tools of MPC kits.
It was, and then immediately after that, AMT picked it up, and then it came out as they did the Hurst Olds version as an AMT. But the very first, it was, and what I loved about it is I'll never forget the box art. I actually would love to find one just to have it. I remember it was kind of a bluish box art, said MPC on it, but the illustration of the car, I don't know, it was probably like a doctored up photo of the model built, but it was in Aztec gold, which was the color of my car. So the very first MPC kit that came out of that, which it was just a 69 442, I'll never forget when that came out. But that was, and everybody says that's a really, really good kit, and that was an true MPC kit.
Yes,
so
it was.
That was like my point is, don't knock MPC. Like you have that horrible experience, and I get it. And Billy was 100% correct in everything he said. But when you just shut your mind off to, I'm never buying an MPC kit ever again. If I see him, I'll walk away. You might lose out on some things because they really did some fantastic kits. They really stepped it up in the 80s. And that's all I got to say about that. How about you, Mark? You haven't weaned in on this one so much.
Well, like Irv, I've got great memories from way back in my childhood too, building them. And for example, the phone booth that I just wrapped up last year, that was one I built back when it came out in 1969 or 70. And when I had the opportunity, I'd put it on one of my Grail things, and somebody gave me the kit. And I did not remember a lot of the stuff that I had to do to it this time to fix it. But the booth itself, for example, there's so many injection pin marks in that thing that are going to be visible through all of that glass, all of that clear. There's going to be so much that's visible. And I spent at least 2 days filling and sanding and filling and sanding to get all that nice and smooth. But I went into it knowing a lot of that stuff and knowing what I wanted it to be, and it was worth the effort. The sad part of all this is, and again, echoing what Irv said, and Billy, what you were saying, it's sad that if it's your very first experience with modeling, and that's what you get, I can see how that would turn you off. because you might think all of them are like that, and that's not true. Part of modeling is occasionally having to fix something, scratch build something, and I don't mind that at all. But that's not everybody's experience. Some people want to get them and they just build it and put it on a shelf, and there's nothing wrong with that either.
Mm-hmm.
But I have great memories of MPC from not just my childhood, but when in 1971 when the stock car series popped out.
I knew you were going to bring that one up.
I'm in Kmart and there's a Jim Hurtubise car. It's the first one I bought. And I'm like, oh, cool. So I got that. And the next week or two, then there's the Buddy Baker number 11 Dodge. And I was hooked. As far as I was concerned, even being that as young as I was sold that MPC was the greatest thing out there. And it was only because they were the only one that had those cars.
Right.
But I used a lot of MPC stuff to kit bash. I would use those stock car chassis from that series and put an AMT body on it.
Yeah.
Or a Revell body, whatever it was. Were they the best quality? Maybe not. But at the same time, they were the only game in town when it came to race cars like that.
Yeah.
And of course, I remember their funny car series because I loved those things. You had Soapy Sales, and you had all of these funny cars. Man, I love those things. Then they came out with the big 16th scale petty car in clear.
Oh boy, yeah, that thing.
MPC was my go-to there for a long time, and I just loved it. I built them all, but I liked them. As far as looking back on it now, are there issues? Who doesn't have them in a way?
Yeah.
I mean, you got kits that are ill-fitting no matter who makes them in certain spots. I've even had two Tamiya kits and one Fujimi that I'm.
The older Tamiya kits are notorious for not actually doing so well, especially the battery.
Yeah, good
fit
issues. Yeah.
They leaned more towards being a toy.
Yes. Newer Tamiya kits are wonderful. Older Tamiya kits, not so much.
Yeah.
Well, just look at the MPC.
The way we've got to look at some of this stuff is, the original copyrights on some of these things, the molds are 60s, 70s, and,
Yeah.
But for a brand new modeler that's getting into it and go, hey, that's cool. And the other thing is with MPC was I remembered when my dad and my uncles would take me to car shows and seeing all the custom cars, because back in the 60s, customs were a big thing you'd see.
Yeah.
And like the phone booth or the bed buggy, which I've got one of those I want to get jumping on here before long, too. I want to really dress up that Corvair engine in it. But a lot of those things, and they were the only place you could find the Carl Caspers and the Barris and some of that stuff was MPC.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the place to get them. But I love those old show rods and stuff like that too. But
yeah, definitely.
That MPC Dukes of Hazards. Didn't they pump out 1 million of those back in the day?
The first Dukes of Hazard kits.
And they're still pumping them out. And that mold is really tired.
Yeah. But they keep selling them.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, definitely.
But I have good memories, but it's just, I built everything though. Like I said, if it was Revell, if it was AMT, it doesn't matter. I built it all.
Yeah.
And again, I can't understand why people, if it's their first kit or they're getting into it and they get one of these old molds, that could be a little bit of a discouragement, but don't let it be. I mean, you can still take.
That's the message.
You can sometimes put enough lipstick on the pig that it looks pretty good.
Yeah, well, that it's interesting. Everybody's take on this, including like with Billy, you still forged on and got that thing done, and it does look great. Go over and check that out on his channel. Yeah. Again, there's a link. All our channels are linked in the description, and it's just something that with what we all have with social media and with like the four of us, like I said, it's kind of our job. We're here for you people. don't get angry about it. We understand your frustration, but ask the questions, man. That's what the Facebooks and the YouTube channels are for. I get questions all the time from people in my comments on my videos, and I try to answer them the best I can, or send them to the Facebook groups to get their answer if I can't give it to them. Because you got a question about modeling, you get on to not only there's so many great Facebook model cars we'll talk about, car modeling Facebook groups, that there's all different levels of builders. You ask a question, you're going to get a bunch of good answers, and you'll start seeing a consistent same answer as people start giving the answers, and you kind of will know who the guys are. You get your trolls here and then. Don't worry about them. Just look at. There's always positive input. That's the cool thing about our community, is everybody's so willing to help one another out. And that's what it's all about. That's why we do this crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of why I did the video. Still, was to show to not give up, and what you can learn by not giving up and finishing. Just finish it. I do not bounce to another kit. I do not bounce to another kit. When I start a kit, I do not actually full on start another kit. The current one I'm doing is actually a little bit of a contrarian or contradictory to what I'm saying now, but there's a reason. It's the one that how I met Matt was, it was the 48-hour group build.
Yeah.
And I completely messed that kit up. Messed that kit up. Ruined it. And my friend gave me another kit.
Oh,
replace
boy.
that one. So I'm building that.
You're giving it another shot.
Yeah, I'm doing it. He gave me.
I will say about Billy, you guys, Billy is the most tenacious car modeler I know. He just, like he said, that's something like from when I first met him, I was always like, wow, I wish I could do what he does. But he does. He gets on a project and, well, hey, are you going to get into this build? It's like, that's why you didn't get into this year's USAC build. Is because you were just, I gotta get this done. I'm working on this. This has to get finished. So he doesn't let anything sidetrack him. He gets on something. He's going to stay on that project till it's done, and that's something I do not do, as it shows by having most of these are probably a halfway or almost done project that I completely petered out on. I do, and and I took that thought, though, with this year's USAC build, because it was going well. I unfortunately, because of other things going on, I wouldn't start it till I got a couple other things done, or didn't get done, but I was trying to get done. We won't talk about that. So I got started very late on my USAC build, but I was really positive about it. I was having a good time. The vision of it was coming in quick for me. But it immediately took a left turn on me at my most scariest moment. That always happens to me. That's why I'm always pins and needles when it's paint time. Paint, it was touch and go, but I even did a video on, I messed a little bit up on the paint, but I was able to correct it. And then the decals went down so nice. And then I did the first clearing of the decals, and everything's looking good. For some reason, by the third coat of clearing, everything went sideways and wrong. And
do you remember when mine did that with that exact same?
Yeah.
Okay, I know why it does that.
Yeah, really? Yeah,
yes.
Please. Well, let me first tell you, just so you know, it was Mr. Hobby Clear that is their it would be their acrylic enamel.
It's the premium. It's the premium top coat.
Top coat. Yeah, which you love. You're one of the first ones that really goes, oh my, this stuff is awesome. So yeah, what is your take on that?
Okay, so that stuff sprays almost like an airbrush.
Yes.
And when mine did it, I was trying to figure out why it did it. And that stuff sprays so fine, it doesn't see. We're used to how a regular rattle can builds a layer and seals. That stuff doesn't build layers when we do coats. It doesn't build like traditional rattle can. So what it does is when we go to spray our nice, we've done like our light layers thinking we've got it so where it's started to seal. If there is any hint that decal didn't seal at all, or the glue is even slightly not sticky enough, when we go to spray the heavy, because that stuff is so thin, we spray our heavy, it works its way underneath the decal. And then as it's trying to, because if you notice, it didn't destroy the decal. What it did was it wrinkled the decal. It's the exact same thing that it did to mine. If you throw it in the dehydrator, it starts to flatten the decal back out.
Oh my!
Because it's trying, because it's trying to level itself, right? And with the dehydrator, it's accelerating the process. So it, with my decals, it leveled it. Now it doesn't do it foolproof. It only does it about 95-ish%. So there's still a little hint of a wrinkle every few spots, but it takes most of the wrinkles back out. So it tries to level itself back out underneath the decal. So my theory is if those decals don't adhere and completely seal itself on its own, that particular, even though it's safe for decals, it didn't destroy the decal.
No,
like
it didn't.
Traditional, when it would
no, it didn't melt them at all.
But it sprays so fine, it gets underneath the decal and then tries to level, and it shrinks the decal as it's leveling itself underneath the decal.
Oh wow, that totally makes sense. I buy that 100%.
Yeah, and
that's
so
exactly what it looks like was happening.
So that's what scares me about using that. If you try to do a heavy, final couple layers after you've done your light, because that's exactly what happened to my rally car. I was like, what? And it did it twice.
I remember that. That's right. Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't figure it out. I was like, what in the world is going on? And then when I looked at the first body that I did, and it did that, I was like, I wonder, and I started playing around. I was like, it's got to be what it is, because I'm looking at how fine that stuff, and then I tried spraying like the regular clear that I would use before, and just the layers it's building it's not even close to being the same.
We got to figure out how to be able to do this correctly, because I don't want to.
Because I've sprayed it on other decals and never had a problem, but they were not as thick as the rally decals that I were using, because they were aftermarket,
right?
And they were typically or they were newer, because the Tamiya decals that I used on the second body were older, and those older glue, and it got underneath them, and I was like,
so and these were old decals that I was using, even though they laid out really nice. You're right. That's exactly what happened. Did you use a
setting solution?
I did. But you know what? I didn't on the hood because it was flat. I did in certain spots where I needed it to suck down.
That might be something too.
Line, but I didn't do it on the whole decal. So
did the whole decal wrinkle, or just where you put the setting solution, or where you did not?
Where I did not. I got to look at it closer now, but I'm gonna investigate that, because I know where I put setting solution.
That's a good thought too. Yeah,
I'm gonna look at that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I use microsol to give it that suck it down into the paint.
Yeah.
I use the microsol even on a flat surface. I'll still do that.
And I typically use it, but I won't swear to like actually doing what Mark says and using it all over. So that's probably something too.
Yeah. That's interesting. I'm going to have to look close at that. But I will say the one thing it didn't do is what usually happens to me is when I have a disruption in the force like that, it goes into the box and up onto the shelf and forgotten forever. And I was like, I'm finishing this model. It still had the vision. It still was very satisfying. And as I continued on, which is something that I'm going to bring back that Billy said that really caught my attention earlier, is continuing on with this build, I ended up figuring some things out that I would have never figured out, and learned some new things on this build that I've never done or tried out before. And a thing is I have started, here we go. I love this 69 kit. the 69 Camaro kit. I've never finished one. I've started a lot of them. I've got some that are almost finished. This is the first one that, less the engine. I didn't, I'm going to say right now, it's a curbside. I didn't bother with an engine, but I'm not really concerned about that. I have worked with engines on that kit, and I'm not, but as far as actually completing the whole build and assembling it, finally doing that, how headlights go in, how taillights go in, it's got some interesting nuances about this kit that I learned after all these years of starting this kit and never finishing it. I finally learned something about this kit that I can bring on to the other ones that I do want to finally finish up, or I even have a few other 69 Camaros I want to do. So this was a really good learning experience with this kit. And all in all, I'm really pleased with it. My concept, idea, vision I had of it, it's there, and I'm really, it's an enjoyable looking model. I can't wait to shoot the video and get it up and show everybody, because it really, the stance, everything just worked out. And I discovered something really cool. You got to wait till the video to watch it. How I got a look. I really pondered the wheels on this thing, because these were resin cast wheels I did. And I was like, how am I going to get the aluminum look I want? And I found it in such a weird way that it's in the video. It's going to be cool. So they really they got the look I was looking for. So I'm really pleased with it. So yeah, taking a little bit of a page from the Billy Strange book of car modeling. Stay on it.
Wow.
And finish it up. And let's see if I can start doing that with more kits. Because I'm ready to rock, man. I got a bunch of projects I want to jump on, and I'm going to be doing a lot of 80s Winston Cup cars this year. I really want to get a bunch done. So,
I'd wonder if you put that hood back in a dehydrator and let it cook for a day, what would happen?
With it set up by now, probably nothing. With the clear is pretty well set up, but who knows? I don't have a dehydrator, unfortunately.
Oh. Put it in the oven.
I think I'm going to have to get one. There we go. Then we'll see how that works out.
This was my first build of this Camaro, but I've parted out probably 20 of these Camaros over the years. It's great for parts, but I've never built one. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to do mine, was because it's a great kit, and I just never had built one. But man, I parted a ton of these out. It's got some good parts in it.
You hit that kit really well. You hit it good, because
you did a great job on it.
Really
396.
And it is typical. It is typical Arterake style, man.
The rake's backwards.
What's that?
The rake is backwards on it.
It is.
The front is the back, and the back is the front. Yeah, it's got a 70s. It sits up in the front. It's got a.
Oh, it's like a drag. It's a street racer, so you going for that squatting.
Yeah, it's the front end's higher than the back.
You sandbagged it.
I did.
It's got a great look about it, I'll tell you. And that red.
Those cheater slicks turned out great.
Oh, they're the bomb.
The thing.
They are. I wanted him to do. He didn't want to do them at first, and he had a tire that was similar, but it was too wide. And I was hoping he'd do them for me, and I was like, I had to wait, and it's like, please, will you do these? And man, it just, that out of all the stuff I got, that is like that's my favorite 3D printed part ever. It's just a so unique looking tire from back in the day.
It was. That's a weird design on the tread.
The whole thing is weird, but they're so weird they're cool, and there's nothing else out there like it. So I was really excited. It was hard for me not to tell anybody about them when I got them, because I was so excited about those tires. But yeah, it's
the thing that there's something about your build that immediately caught my eye, that just made the whole build, first of all, put it right in the correct time period, and the look you're going for, this nailed it, is that simple little Lakewood it's not even a roll bar. What do they just?
It's
called
a
that?
3-point. It's a
It's
3-point.
roll bar.
Yeah.
That was legal in NHRA Pro Stock in 1970. By the way, that's all they had to put in them, and because Bill Jenkins in Grumpy's Toy 8, that was the first roll bar, that was in it was that Lakewood. But you did it like when you'd buy it from, which was a bolt-in piece too.
Yeah.
Is you got the kit from Lakewood and it was pre-painted, and they of course did it red.
Yeah.
And I love that red that you did, and you even put a little Lakewood sticker on there. And man, that set, it's such with the gold. It's just like this color and then that color that really don't go together so much. It just gave the whole car. It set the appearance of the whole car to me.
Yeah, I was really happy with.
That was a cool add-on.
And I'm not a huge scratch build. I don't like Mark. To me, is more of a true scratch builder than I am.
He is.
So making a roll bar for me was like that was kind of outside my normal perimeter, I guess you'd want to say. So I was actually pretty happy with it. It actually looked like it was supposed to look when I was done. So I think it might be a little bit thick, possibly.
I don't know. I think it
might
looked
be
right.
The scale, but
it looked right to me.
Pretty good.
It really did.
Yeah, but I was very happy with it, and it really didn't take me that long to do it. I did it twice. I did it. Of course, when you're scratch building, you don't always get it on the first, second, sometimes third try. But I did it twice till I got it to where I really liked the look of it.
Yeah,
so,
you got it.
Yeah, because the interior in that, in a model, that interior, because it's black, you can't really see a lot of the interior once it's together. But it does kind of, and I'm kind of glad I didn't have enough. I was going to paint that butternut yellow, and I'm kind of glad now that I didn't have enough butternut yellow. The gold kind of grew on me. I kind of like that I did it in gold.
Like it gold. So. I knew a couple people that had that gold. I like that gold because like my first car was that, it was Oldsmobile Aztec gold, but it was that GM gold from the 60s. And I knew a couple people that had first gen Camaros that were that color, and I always loved the look of the first gen Camaros in that, all the GM cars that were in that color gold, and so that attracted me too. But it's neat to throw that little spot of red right there in the right spot. It set that whole car.
Yeah, I like having little colors, contrasting colors on things.
Yeah, I kind of did that with another 69 Camaro that I want to get back on and finish that is all black, and I had decided to kind of do the opposite thing, and I did the interior gold so that you could see it, and it also contrast instead of just having the black interior that most of the time a lot of us do on these cars.
And 3/4 of those cars had black interior. I mean,
they did.
Most of the muscle cars had black interiors back in the day.
That was a common thing, and
pretty common.
It'd be cool to because I put some interesting details into the interior, and I wanted it to be seen, and I needed to brighten that interior up and have it noticed. So with a black car having this gold interior, you home into it, and that's kind of like what that roll bar did for you. Having that bright red right there, it focuses the eye into, hey, there's more to this car. Look what's going on the inside too. So,
I'm excited to watch all the videos of all our USAC builds.
Yes.
Probably going to take us all week to watch them all, but
yes,
it'll be a few days of just watching.
It's going to be exciting, especially being the first time participating in it.
It's your first.
I'm really excited to see all the other builds and all the different ways that people went, and they're all going to be great. So so I'm excited to see them.
Well, with that being said, guys, I got to get onto my video, so I got to get out of here. So, man, this was a great podcast. Heck, we went 2 hours on this one pretty much. Great conversation. Billy, thanks for finally getting a chance to get on. Hope you're able to come
Billy.
back.
I'm glad you're here.
Thanks. This was great. A lot of fun.
Yeah,
and I'm glad I am glad you finished, Matt. I'm really happy.
Sure.
I'm not being sarcastic.
No,
I'm really
I
glad
am.
that you. I am. No, I'm really glad that you finished. Like,
Thank you.
and I don't mean that sarcastically. Like, I'm really happy for you that
It
you
feels
finished
pretty darn good.
that you
It
finished
really
the USAC build, dude.
Yeah, because I mean, the first two I got finished, and I haven't finished the past couple of them, and I was really feeling bad about it. And geez, I'm like, it's Mark and mine, baby. You know, we started. I gotta finish it. I gotta stop this not finishing them.
And if it makes you feel better,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and get last year's USAC build done
Yeah, you got
this
your
year.
start. You got your oh, that'd be great to see you get back onto that because I know you were going in a great direction with that one.
Yeah, I had my idea.
Yep. We all have them. All right. Well, everybody, I want to thank you all for listening over on Spotify, watching on YouTube. We got the guys here. We're going to go around the clock and let everybody say bye, and then we're going to scoot and get on to watching USAC videos. So we'll start with you, Irv.
Irvin at the Arterake YouTube channel. Watch all the USAC builds. I'm very excited to watch them, and that's pretty much it.
Billy Strange YouTube is Billy Strange Auto Models. Boy, I almost forgot.
Wow. I always blow it. Now you blow
Yeah,
it.
I was thinking
You're hanging out with me too much.
Yeah, you know, I didn't want you to feel awkward or
Thank you,
anything
sir.
like that. So yes, Billy Strange Auto Models, and on Instagram where I show not only the models, I also show my real car stuff.
Oh, he's got cool cars.
Strange_Billy on Instagram.
Cool. And I'm Mark Batson, Hobby Dude 007 on YouTube and Facebook.
That's right. And this is me, Luka C, aka Matt. And you're already on my channel, and you go on my Facebooks. You just follow my name, Luka C, whatever. Check out Luka C Products. I make amazing resin pieces. What can I say? And you know, we're happy to produce this product for you. So, anyways, thanks all for watching, man. And again, down in the description below, we have, and also on Spotify, everybody, if you're listening on Spotify, check the description. We have links to everybody who's the main cast here, but the three guys that are here, and even me. We have our YouTube links. All go check out the channels. Watch everybody. Give everybody a thumbs up and a comment, and comment on this here on both of them.
Yes.
We all kind of get on there, and we like to answer back. So you have any questions for us, or tell us, you know, what your inspirations are and what you feel about MPC. We want to hear it. Believe me, we do. So here we got number 14 is in the can. Oh, and Billy, and I did want to say this is, you know, you might as well start singing while the producers roll.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, can I say it?
You can.
Here's the producers.
After we get done here, I'm going to shoot my final video and probably have it up this afternoon. Here we got this fella here. I don't know if
Me.
I know Fred can't be here, but it would be great since we're doing USAC today. That would
I
be
know.
awesome if he could get here.
I mean, it is USAC day, so we'll probably be talking about it. It's going to get into the conversation. Who knows? You know, I said to Fred, hey man, if you happen to get a shot of if you can like real
Yeah, I
quick
saw that.
pop in, you're more than welcome to. So.
Billy Strange, I don't think we've formally been introduced.
No, we have not.
Let me shake your hand.
Yes, that'll work. And hey, Mark, special occasion, I thought I'd wear my Mark Martin shirt.
Oh,
awesome.
okay.
Glad you finally able to make it, Billy. I've been looking forward to you coming on. And,
Yes.
You're good at this kind of medium or video making. And stuff.
I don't say that, because then that raises expectations, and I like to keep those way
I know.
down here.
as long as we've been friends, I just constantly blow smoke up your ass.
I thought you did that to everybody.
I thought I was
Hold
special.
on.
That's
Yeah.
what I try to do, but everybody's finding out. None of you
Yeah.
are really that special.
The illusion is now broken.
It's over. Guys, I'm going to back out and restart my computer because I'm getting this glitching going on in my camera and try to reboot. So I'll be right back. It won't affect anything. And, we are recording, so talk amongst yourselves and maybe give me some cool, at the end,
Right.
outtakes.
No.
Yeah, we'll talk trash about you like we always do.
That's fine with me. I like being the subject of.
He has a topic.
Be
Thigh
right back.
master is neither a thigh nor a mass to discuss.
Here's the producers. Sometimes I look at my builds that I just finished if I rushed them and there's a little tweaking I like to do afterwards.
Yeah.
But nothing critical that can't, that nobody's really going to see or notice. But
That's the wonderful thing about a camera.
yeah. Yeah, I kept the good side out.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. Nobody can get in real close when you're like, no, you're just like,
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
it
they
like
can't.
this.
Yeah, I'll tell you, well, I guess Matt he'll know it now. I ended up using the little 396 decals on the front fenders, and I didn't realize it, but I dropped one and picked it back up, and I actually put it on backwards because I can't see anymore. And that 396 almost looks like a 390, like it doesn't look that different. Somebody zoomed it up and figured out that I had that decal on backwards. Now I got to go back and scrape that off, and so it's on backwards.
That's the worst.
Yeah, we're so old. It's like it's so tiny I can't see it hardly. And I thought that one looked like more brighter because the white's on the bottom of it, and because it was a decal was layered, and so I got to go back and try to fix that. I wanted to put photo etch ones on anyway. The photo etch sheet I had wasn't very good. I want to get another one and put photo etch ones on there. So I guess that'll give me a reason to do it. But someone picked that out. Can't get away with nothing.
Oh, you can't.
No, you can't. I've taken pictures, posted them, and then gone, is that a hair? Oh, mother. I can't believe I did all that, made those nice, and there's a hair. I thought I wiped that thing down. You dog.
I've done that when I'm taking in the photo booth to take some really nice pictures. And then when I'm editing and there's a chunk of lint or a little flake of something on the windshield or on a fender, and I'm like, you got to be kidding. And it's always on a color that's going to show up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just the worst. I did that on the last one. Just the video I just did. I did a zoom in on the rear tires, and I thought I had wiped it down. And sure enough, there's like little fuzzes all on the edge of the tire. I'm all, where did that come from?
Yeah, wait till you get older and you can't see all that stuff, and everybody else sees it. Oh, he's back. Okay, clean up the talk.
Yep.
Yeah, please. I think things are better.
Oh, Matt Seat's a great guy. Love him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Out again for a sec.
To be fair, you've always looked the same on our end.
Evelyn, is he back from? Did he travel home today? Is he back from?
Oh, he got home a couple days ago. He was out down helping Fred.
Yeah. I assume that when you post videos, that means it was done like 10 minutes before that.
Oh, you haven't learned yet. Huh?
No, I haven't learned that.
That video started and Fred almost dumped that Camaro. I had a freaking heart attack. I had to stop watching.
Yeah, he kept picking them up. It's like, don't pick any more up. You're gonna drop them.
All right, so it looks like it's just us four. We can start whenever Irv does the click.
You ready?
Okay. I should just.
That was non-eventful.
He's like, I'm never ready.
I need to, like, when you click, I got to go, bam.
He's like, I'm ready.
Move. Okay, now we're going to do it. Here we go. Go ahead.
2.
Click it again. What the heck?
Take 24. There we go. Here's the producers.
Perfect. Couldn't ask for anything better.